Hello and welcome to Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die Mailbag. We have no sense of professionalism. I'm just gonna I'm gonna put all that stuff in unedited at the start of the episode. And
Please don't put all the coughing in.
And definitely all the cricket talk.
I did that so much specifically because I thought it wouldn't be in the episode.
Yeah, see, that's why I started Craig, so that you can answer for your podcast crimes.
I'm Sam, aka Cough Boy.
I'm Matt. I don't have a nickname because I don't do those for this.
We don't do those for mailbags.
I'm Caroline, and I also don't have a nickname.
I'm Sam.
It's 10:38 right now, so it's like it's getting late, and the later it gets, the less likely I'm going to be able to do this. So I'm just going to do it right now.
Good one.
The whistle has spoken. It is time to read from our inbox of Tumblr. I actually did check the Gmail, and we do not have any messages on it.
Thank you.
Good, because we don't check that ever.
We didn't ask for them. We did check it. We didn't ask for them. So thank you for not sending them.
Thank you so much for not sending them.
Thank you for sending me a Gmail. I don't know.
Like a funny Borat?
That was that was like a Talking Heads, but also Borat.
Like a talking Borat.
Like a talking
David Byrne was really good in 2006 Borat, if you ask me.
David Byrne. Can we start this? Can we just do it?
Yeah.
Say more words. I'm also very tired, even though it's only 7:39 here.
Do you have thoughts on Imran Khan?
Nope, skip.
No.
See, like, I want to talk about cricket. Can we talk about cricket? I'm dying to talk about cricket right now.
We talked before we started recording about how we don't know anything, and then you pulled up the cricket thing with all the words on it, like silly point and fine third man.
Yeah, that really derailed it.
I have now added this to the Henry Kissinger's Pokemon Going to Die Tumblr. No one will explain why it is there.
Great.
It will just be there as a joke for a patron.
I'm very uninformed about most things, but especially about like foreign politics and stuff.
I could say in general, just talking about like that area's politics. As an Indian man, I am honor bound to hate any Pakistani cricketer. That's just how it goes.
We cannot keep talking about cricket.
That's just the rivalry. But no, I don't. Jim, we do not know shit or fuck about Imran Khan. Maybe there will be a last week tonight segment on it, and then I will understand something about Imran Khan.
Yeah, thanks for that, Matt. I think we've got some extra cover.
Hey!
That's another cricket thing that I'm looking at on my screen right now.
I do love to see it.
Thank you for listening to our cricket podcast.
All right.
Fuck, I don't know anything about the next one either. Why do people keep asking us questions as if we know anything?
What's the next one?
This is a football question. I don't know anything about it. I mean, it's not really a football question, but
we can just like read it anyway because it's not like you're going to have it sit in the inbox.
Sure, why not? And I'll spoil the ending. I don't know. It probably sucks.
Hi guys, I know this isn't your normal wheelhouse, but I'd love to get your thoughts on the holdout/strike by football player Levon Bell. Sorry, a black football player who is one of the top 5 to 10 players in the NFL, playing for the Pittsburgh. Which has a mainly white or blue collar fan base, is getting heavily because he has refused to show up to work until he is promised a new contract. All I could find by Googling him is that they are looking to trade him right now because he has yet to sign his franchise tag and hasn't reportedly given the Steelers any indication whether he plans to return to the team. Because
I feel like I've vaguely heard about this, but yeah.
Okay.
So NFL is dog shit, incredibly racist.
Okay. The NFL is a fuck. I'm in a group on Facebook.
NFL's a fuck.
I'm in a group on Facebook that's just questions. The 2 questions are, do you like sports? And do you think the NFL is a good organization? And anyone who says yes to the NFL question is immediately not allowed into the group.
Nice
It's good as hell.
Yeah, just stick with the XFL.
Yeah, fuck off. So he's concerned about getting injured before getting paid like a top 5 to 10 player. Thank you. Good on him.
Yeah,
being a holdout. I mean, any kind of strikes are good. Especially in industries like sports entertainment, gaming, all these industries where people are basically worked to the bone without any kind of like.
It's just completely destroying people's bodies and paying them shit.
Yeah, like destroying their bodies, destroying their minds, destroying their livelihoods, like getting them in a position where like a lot of them die early because of factors of stress and injury. So he's
lying about the injury risk.
Yes, if we're talking specifically the NFL here, they are good for lying about this shit. So I'm gonna say good on him. Like, I don't know how good he is. I don't watch the football.
I call it football. Thank you.
But like, if he was on the Steelers last year, did they not win the football? No, that was Philadelphia. Never mind.
Who are you asking this to?
Yeah, it was the other Pennsylvania team that won last year.
Listeners, write in to let us know who won the Super Bowl.
I've watched the sports once. No, I just know that Mina was excited about it. That's the only thing I know about sports is what I will see Mina tweet sometimes. It's good.
Next question.
What is your favorite problematic beverage?
Who's sending the questions in?
Asked by at least 5 lizards.
My favorite problematic beverage.
I like hard apple cider, which is problematic because it has a ton of sugar and destroys my body, but it's the tastiest alcohol to me.
I would say like mochas at Caribou Coffee, because I try not to drink coffee because I'm straight edge till death.
I like to drink any of the numerous heavily caffeinated beverages available at my work that are too expensive, because like, I don't know if you guys know anything about like cafeteria companies, but Canada has 2 of them. And
nice.
You know how that goes.
That's always good.
Yeah.
The fewer the companies, the better. Just like
So there's Aramarks and Chartwells. Chartwells is the one that's installed at my work, which is a government facility, which could absolutely just have their own service provided. And the markup on these drinks is amazing, but yet I buy one for like $3 entire every time, and it's literally just a wild cherry Pepsi 90% of the time, because wild cherry Pepsi is good as hell. It's problematic.
I like cherry colas.
Soda
I do like
very
cherry colas. Soda in general is problematic because all beverage companies are evil.
Also, it's gross and bad for you.
It's incredibly bad for you, but it helps me be awake, and I like
the bubblies.
I fucking love the bubbles.
I cannot stand the bubbles. They just are painful to me. I'm sorry, everyone. I'm problematic.
No, Sam.
No, that's valid.
Sam's the only valid one here.
Hey, this is the first time this has ever happened.
Only one of us can be valid every week.
Anonymous asks, what's a good way to actually step back from being mad online about politics and switch to actually getting involved on a local level when you've been out of the loop for a while? I don't know. If you find out, tell us.
I mean, just kidding.
Seeing
what's in the area.
It literally just.
Even if it's not like necessarily a leftist, or just getting involved in volunteering and seeing.
I think the easiest way to start is to just start following local political orgs on social media.
Yes, that is.
Then you'll start seeing the names of people that are involved in local politics. You'll start seeing the kind of places,
schedules, the locations.
Yeah. You'll just have a solid, then you can just have a whole bookmarks bar full of leftist organizations to visit and hang out with, like the Massachusetts Police.
Yeah, that's basically what we're trying to say here is do your best to emulate the police.
I want you to be as cop as possible.
Yeah.
All cops are beautiful.
We got a question from Tufster McGee. It's the libs trying to crucify Susan Sarandon for basically no reason is so stupid I could die. What Susan Sarandon movies should I marathon to own the libs? Susan Sarandon. IMDb.
I remember that one very middle liberal who is like, I've been coping by rewatching the last scene of Thelma and Louise on repeat. Which spoilers, Thelma and Louise famously involves Susan Sarandon driving off a cliff.
Hey, remember when Susan Sarandon was on Friends and I believe she fucked Joey, but she may have fucked Ross.
Guys. Susan Sarandon was the fucking therapist from the Pickle Rick episode of Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
Susan Sarandon granny
absolutely
rags
watched
Dishonored?
Pickle Rick.
You just watch Pickle Rick.
Just keep watching Pickle Rick. Never stop.
That's the best resistance you
never
can
watch another TV episode in your life.
Never stop watching Pickle Rick.
Watch Pickle Rick.
Just watch Pickle Rick.
You just need to see your good friend Pickle Rick.
Just check it out.
Man, one of the the local comic shop that's now like a comics and games shop just posted a picture, and it was just we got Pickle Rick everywhere, and they showed 8 separate merchandise items they have that have Pickle Rick on them, and I don't think I can ever go to that store again.
In the month September in the year 2018?
Yeah.
The thing about I don't understand why that would happen, because the thing about Pickle Rick was like the turnaround from it being like funny to it being a massive like cringe was about.
I see people wearing Pickle Rick shirts all the time.
Oh, that's
think the thing about nerds that are like less extremely online is that they just like these things and continue doing so, and I don't get it.
Hey,
how do you not become jaded by everything?
Yeah, how do you not get offended because of irony poisoning?
Hey. Susan Sarandon was in the 2008 movie Speed Racer and played a character whose name is Mom Racer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speed's his first name.
Speed's his first name.
I didn't know that.
I guess she had a guest role on Malcolm in the Middle.
This is really good radio.
Just talking about Susan Sarandon.
You remember when Woody Allen voiced the main character in the movie Ants?
Okay, no, we can't keep doing this. We can't.
Ants.
Anonymous asks, I'm years off from being able to vote, and often I find myself feeling an overwhelming sense of dread about political matters in the world. Any tips on how to get involved when you can't necessarily put your electoral input in? I guess this is like the same answer as the other one, which is
the same question.
Follow local orgs on Facebook.
And
but then sub-question here.
Sense of dread that you can't shake and you feel like you're not going to do it's like you can't make any difference and everything's bad. That doesn't go away when you reach voting age.
That just means that's what being an adult is.
Yeah, so that's the second part of this question is what else can you do to cope with the feeling that there's not much you can do?
Local activism.
Dream about a bloody resistance, in which case the guillotine comes back. Not a threat.
Not a threat.
Just a sincere wish.
It's just a historical fact.
It's the cycle. What are the chances that the U.S. is doing an imperialism in Venezuela right now? Do you think there's a chance of 100%. A coup happening in the near future? Well, the chance that the U.S. is doing an imperialism in Venezuela this is a literally proven fact.
Mm-hmm.
Like the opposition is literally funded by the United States.
Yeah, I remember when Maduro was almost like killed by a drone.
Yeah, that was like 2 months ago.
The United States famously never uses.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're not the most podcast of the podcast Citations Needed. The most recent episode talks about how literally whenever socialism pops up in any country that isn't white, the U.S. is just down on that like a hammer. So yeah. I feel like I read a story saying that the Big Whip president was mad because he wanted to bomb Venezuela and couldn't, or wanted to get more involved in Venezuela, and they said that's a dumb idea, sir.
Not only did they say that it's a dumb idea that he wanted to bomb Venezuela, they said it would be a dumb idea to mention how much he wanted to bomb Venezuela, and then he couldn't stop himself from mentioning that when he was at a South American meeting.
New York Times from a couple weeks ago, Trump administration discussed coup plans with the rebel Venezuelan officers.
Cool.
That's what you like to hear?
Yep.
It's really good to hear. Is anyone else fucking tired?
Yeah.
Like need to go to sleep, or like politically and just mentally?
Both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as some of the listeners may know and others may not, I have been in job jail for the last several weeks, and I'm tired.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not on the normal episodes and why I'm contractually obligated to do mailbags. Otherwise, no one gets to hear my beautiful dulcet tones and slide whistle.
I actually forgot you existed.
Yeah, Sam just straight up forgot I existed. He's like, oh, I'm the only person with the blue roll on the Discord now.
So to our listeners, enjoy the knowledge now that our names appear in blue in our Discord.
Hey, join our Discord. The links are places.
Yep.
Question from Anonymous. It's a two-parter. A two-parter because Tumblr has ludicrously short message limits.
Yeah, unless you're sending us a fan mail.
God, it still exists even though there's no link to it.
Okay.
Because people send fan mails to my side Tumblrs all the time, because most of them you can't send normal. You can send messages to, but you can't send chats to.
It's so stupid.
Because you can't chat with any side blog that has more than one person attached to it.
Sorry to derail, but Tumblr is so fucking stupid in every way.
I'm really glad that we use it for our questions.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's a lot easier than Twitter would be.
Yeah.
Because Twitter likes throwing so many useless notifications in your feed if you don't tweet constantly.
Right.
And we would never be able to actually find the questions. So, hey, HKIPGTD.
You had it. You had it.
There's a problem I've been thinking over for a while now, and I'd appreciate your take on it. In today's globalized economy, a huge amount of the labor that supports life in Western countries is outsourced to the global South, where it is easier for companies to exploit workers. If socialists were to take power in a Western country, do you all have any thoughts about how they can express international solidarity and avoid relying on the exploitation of foreign labor to produce an equitable domestic society? Honestly, not doing a coup every time that workers try to organize in those countries would be a good start.
That's a good start. I personally already don't do a coup.
Yeah, just like encouraging other peoples to not do a coup. Because the U.S. has supported...
Don't give millions of dollars to paramilitary death.
Yeah, literally created the term banana republic out of that.
Yeah.
Do we have advice on a personal level for this question?
Well, this isn't really, it's not even on a personal level. It's like on like a societal policy level, which I feel like is a bit above our heads.
That's true.
Because if socialists were to take power, do you have any thoughts about how they can express international solidarity? And I think the largest faction would be to support workers organizing elsewhere, because that's something that the U.S. has famously not done ever.
I'm just saying for when our podcast do take power in the United States,
we will send guns to labor revolutionaries in third world countries so that they can
subscribe to them via Patreon.
Yeah, and then we will allow them to shoot their masters and turn their factories into co-ops and let the rivers run red with their blood.
That wasn't a threat.
Via Patreon.
The red represents the money flowing into the Patreon, and not the blood flowing out of their veins.
The famous color of money. Red. When people say their company is in the red, they mean they have so much fucking money.
It means they have so many Canadian $50 bills, which are red.
Cuck dollars.
Hey. Don't call my money cuck dollars.
I'm pretty sure.
Sorry, you don't have ultra strong.
Didn't you call them that originally, or was that me?
You were calling my money cuck dollars.
Oh, well, then I'm right. And you should respect me.
Sam, I've never respected you in my life.
Yeah, it's a very
tricky you should
question, like untangling the U.S. because the U.S. empire is just everywhere. All
That's
of our
the thing is that even if
people so much, it's gonna be even if we get to a place where we start implementing more socially democratic policies. There's gonna be a lot of resistance.
I just realized that this whole fucking question was the subject of a recent Citations Needed episode about how nominal socialists, including Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and all these people that are pretty good examples of left-leaning electoral politics, all have absolutely no plans for any kind of foreign policy.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a historic problem.
That
in Western
episode
movements.
Was more about military imperialism, and Israel Palestine, and I guess more military issues that.
But the thing is that
and also
the U.S. lends so much paramilitary support to people who push down workers' movements in South America and in the Middle East, and honestly, probably also in Africa.
Yeah.
Although we don't really get much manufacturing from there. It's honestly, we're too dumb for this.
We are too dumb for this.
Yeah, that's what I'm noticing.
Hey, Henry Kiki Singer. It's Rose again with a praxis-focused question. Do you believe that debating people one-on-one about political beliefs is useful, or should we focus our energy on larger political action? Lately, I've stopped debating people on issues like LGBT rights, anti-racism, and economic reform because I find that most debates are done in bad faith and are mainly just a show of rhetoric. Debating trans rights in particular just ends up reopening past traumas and rarely leads anywhere good. You answered your own question.
In person, sometimes online, 0% of the time. Never, ever.
That tracks. Because if it's someone who's in a space around you, then I can understand trying to set boundaries by, setting the terms of a political discourse. But online, useless.
I don't agree with that, though, because I've been a shithead in the past, and I've had my opinions changed by stuff like this.
Rarely has it been me debating with someone who's changed my opinions on this. It's just me reading.
Yeah.
And these people aren't interested in
reading. I think it depends on who you're talking to, because there's definitely going to be people where you can just tell this is a waste of your time. But
yeah, Cody Johnson had a good bit about this it was like an older Patreon bit for Some More News, where he just talked about like if he was offered to debate Ben Shapiro, he would not do it.
Yeah,
because it's a complete fucking waste of time.
Definitely not that. But
is Ben Shapiro still begging Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez to debate?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I doubt he's doing it as actively, but I'm sure he still would love to, and is probably. I'm sure that anytime he ever talks about her, he probably slips in a thing about, I don't know if she didn't debate request, but
she doesn't know how she'd work in the marketplace of ideas.
Yeah, I would say you're not obligated to do this, and if you ever feel like you don't have the energy for it, then don't do it, and you're right to not do it.
Yep.
But like larger political action is a generally better cause. Joining up with other people, because even if you are debating people, it's a lot better to have people behind you and not try to just do a bunch of one-on-one shit, which would just be fucking exhausting. It's the whole point of political coalitions is to make things less exhausting.
Right. So just get a bunch of people, and then you can all go debate Ben Shapiro together.
You could debate the blood right out of his veins.
Not a threat.
I didn't say that.
Matt, it's a metaphor.
Sam, maybe you can put in like a funny clown nose.
The mailbags do go on the main feed. It's not Patreon.
Oh right,
content.
shit. Whatever. I regret nothing. I got a question from
because you didn't mean it literally.
Yeah, friend of the show, David. David. Bill Gates is in the news again, offering $460 million to poor public schools across the U.S. with his foundation, which his foundation says is the result of years of research. This is a departure from his normal strategy of funding alternative schools and teacher evaluations and generally leaving public schools to die. Is this a step in the right direction, or just another example of Bill Gates throwing money at something without those affected having a say in it?
As always.
I mean, it could be. I think yes, it is better than fun. Yeah, it's both.
Right. It's better than what was happening, and it's better than not doing it at all, but it's not the solution, as always, with like all billionaire philanthropy.
Yeah. Because like a lot of the problem with him funding charter schools is that I honestly genuinely just believe he thought it was better for a while. Like, not to like praise a billionaire's like wants, but it seemed in better faith. And this makes me think it's in better faith. But obviously you can never trust a billionaire, especially when they've put so much money into charter schools. And of course, in the case of Bill Gates specifically, still has money in charter schools, and has also put so much money into the media organizations that report on him.
That too, but just like still has billions of dollars in general.
Yeah, and also has more than $1 billion, which is too much money already, let alone having multiples of billions.
Right. Nobody should have, I would say, even $1 million. Nobody should have $1.
Nobody should have money. Money should exist. That's praxis.
There you go.
Yep. Official stance of the podcast.
Yeah, we got a question from Putch Goosit. It's a very good URL. Hey, HKIPGTD. With the recent passing of the EU Stop All Memes bill, is the internet lost forever? What happens to memes in the internet in a globalized capitalist hell world?
I know nothing about this topic, but I've heard that that's a big misinterpretation of it.
A lot of it is it. Well, I mean, it strengthens copyright law for rights holders, and that's generally bad.
So no more SpongeBob memes.
If we can't have SpongeBob memes, then what do we have?
Dog shit.
There's another friggin' copyright bill that's trying to go through Canada right now, but I'm like, it's a copyright bill that's mostly being supported by like arts organizations and artists, and it's basically to automatically revert copyright back to creators from rights holders after like 25 years, and that one's like good actually. And I feel like anything that would weaken the position of like general rights holders is good, and anything that strengthens their position is bad, like just on like a broad scale.
Yeah.
And like, you can get more into the weeds on that by like, reading into it more. But I feel like, as with anything, just because there's so much shit happening at any given time, that you have to kind of have a broad policy on some things, or else you'll just always be confused because it's impossible to follow.
I don't know anything about the EU. I'm dumb as a bucket of rocks.
Yeah, but like we haven't seen like any kickback effects from this, so I guess we'll see. We just need to decentralize the internet anyway, so we'll get to that first.
Yeah, internet's
the truth.
Internet is just like really a unique poison for all generations. It's going to be bad in a couple decades. Is all I can say.
The internet's still like a good thing in general, I'd say.
I mean, yeah, but it's wreaking a lot of havoc on.
It's wreaking havoc, and also since it is becoming
as like a radicalization tool.
Yeah, it's also just becoming increasingly under corporate control.
Also bad.
And that's what I really like about. I was reading a thing about Cloudflare today. Cloudflare, which is a company that like does DDoS protections, is like launching a new like internet protocol that's like that's distributed instead of like server based. And I really like the idea of this because it means things have a little more. They're a little less nebulous and a little more like permanent and stable, and also, since it's distributed, cannot be throttled by like single companies that happen to own lines in certain areas. So I really like the idea of something decentralized like that, and any kind of decentralization is generally going to go in the right direction. Mm-hmm. We had a question for Scout. I guess we can't really answer that.
Whoops. Yeah, that was when we were recording the interview, and we just forgot to read it at the time because we didn't know it was there.
The ticket booths were decorated with small metal flags in pairs at the top, meant to look like they were waving in the wind, but they are all waving in opposite directions. It is impossible for the wind to be blowing in two directions at once. Please explain yourself. We're gonna have to just like get
someone did a big fart in the middle of them.
Okay, we can ask the question to Scout.
No,
please ask the question to Scout.
No,
Scout, how are the flags blowing in two opposite directions?
No, they're not.
It's magic. Yes. It's magic. That's the answer. The answer is that it's
magic. Next question.
Okay, we got a question from Dr. Balls Dandy. How are all these names so good? I sent in the Florence question, but I just learned of the typhoon in Southeast Asia. And while it doesn't have anything to do with the question, I don't want to draw any attention away from this typhoon. Both will claim tragic numbers of lives, but this typhoon has been called the biggest storm ever. Linus was like right in the path of Manghut, which is nuts. One of our podcast hosts currently lives in Taiwan. It fucked up the Philippines. That's all about I know. And power to anyone who's helping clean up and helping rescue people out of. I know a bunch of people got like trapped in a church that had like a huge landslide hit. So all power to rescuers and stuff there. And hopefully they can get through this. Because I know Guam got like flattened, and naturally like the US did dick shit about it.
Why would they do dick shit at Guam?
Yeah, they only have Guam so that they have somewhere to bomb from.
Exactly.
It's the only reason why Guam exists. Well, the only reason why Guam as a United States territory exists. Right. Sorry. Didn't want to end with that one. That was bad.
Yeah. Whoopsies.
And also, like, a large number of people who live in Guam are people who are in the U.S. military, and they do not support them in any meaningful way because they can't vote, and they get bad veterans benefits if they come home at all.
Not a great country of ours that we have.
Well, it's not my country, but mine's not great either. It's fine.
I was speaking for myself and Caroline.
Well, fuck you, Sam.
All right.
Let's end on a nice one. Pregnant Seinfeld has asked us a question.
Hey!
It's Pregnant Seinfeld. I don't follow Pregnant Seinfeld. I'm just going to do that right now because it's Pregnant Seinfeld. Pregnant Seinfeld. Any of you got a favorite Dril tweet?
I actually did the Dril bracket when it was going around, so I do have an empirically determined favorite Dril tweet, which is the candles tweet.
Yeah, that's a really good choice.
I mean, I will face God and walk backwards into hell is good.
That's very good for. No, what was he trying to do? What was the first half of that tweet?
If the zoo bans me from hollering at the animals, I will face. Yeah.
My personal favorite is the one where his boss says he can't kiss his ferrets at work, and he punches the ground so hard that his screensaver deactivates.
Yeah, that's a good one. Really my second place one was I hate it when girls think I'm proposing whenever I take the knee at them in protest.
Give me a second to bring it up.
I just want to also just give shout out to Volunteering at the Betsy Ross Museum. Guy asked me if he could fuck the flag. Buddy, they won't even let me fuck it.
As long as we're just reading Dril tweets, I also really like the one where he's shitting on the toilet and he hears the national anthem start playing and he stands up in complete agony as shit.
Okay, here is what I'm gonna say is, I don't know if it's my favorite, but I saw it recently and it's like, that's a good one. As the guillotine slides towards my neck, I produce a tiny barbell I've been hiding in my mouth and lift it with my tongue. One last rep.
Very good.
I'm really glad that I have 2 books written by Dril heading towards my house.
Yeah, buy the Dril book. 2 books.
He also did a fucking Sweet Bro and Hella Jeff book with Casey Green.
That's right.
Which is that's a very good confluence of creators to me.
Yeah, go to gum.co/drillbook.
Yeah, I'm very excited to give Dril money for... Well, I mean, I've already given him money. The book just needs to arrive.
I did not know that it was 420 pages. Thanks, Dril.
That's really nice.
Yeah, and like they're organized by category. So if you need to find favorite Dril tweets, you can search by category to find them. And I think that's beautiful.
Another really good one is Sorry, I'm trying to remember it. That's the one I reference the most often.
I think that's one of the ones that just like has worked its way into common parlance.
I'm not owned.
I'm not owned as I shrink into a corn cob, and then people thought that calling someone a corn cob was suicide baiting.
God, yeah. Well,
online is a fuck.
Whenever people get owned online, they just they start calling it suicide baiting now. Like the guy who keeps getting Kung Pao penised on Tumblr.
Excuse me?
Every time he says something, people start typing out the phrase Kung Pao penis at him. Like letter by letter. So they will reblog and post one letter at a time.
That's pretty funny.
And then they post a picture of Bernie Sanders going Super Saiyan.
Here's a good one. Okay. Here's a good one. Man leans into doorway of World Trade Center bathroom. Hey, you got to finish up in there. 9/11 is happening. God, I wish we were.
What's the one that's like Donald Trump is like, I could not possibly fuck at this junction.
God, Dril is so much funnier than any of us.
I just want to make like a recommendation to a Dril adjacent Twitter, which is Everyone is Dril, which just retweets people who make Dril like tweets, and it's very good. That's it actually for Mailbag. That was the last question.
Caught my son running a Google search for shit-stained pussy. I am beyond distraught. We are strictly a Bing family.
Bad
Sorry,
sentence.
the last 10 minutes of this have just been us reading Dril tweets.
It's fine. We're good.
No,
this is the Henry Kissinger's Pokemon going to die at September Mailbag. Not a threat, just a mailbag.
Just a mailbag.
Memento Pokemori.
Memento Pokemori.
Mailbag. Delete that. Edit that out.
I'm not deleting that.
No, don't.
Edit that in.
I'm making Craig leave now.
Bye.
Bye. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Everybody in the chat for a mailbag time. Got a Sam and a Matt and a Caroline, and then there's a patron listening to us.
I dress him up in a lady's wig. If you're thinking,
thank you for paying us to do this, Stephanie.
A patron. Just a note of posterity. Stephanie said "F you" for me referring to her as a patron.
We got Stephanie, Craig, and Onion Bubs.
Positive stress at Renter's house.